Hello wonderful people, welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name's Steph and today we are doing our next round of TBR Blackjack in order to decide what I'm going to read for the month of September, and this month we've introduced a punishment jar.
It could change the world.
Alright guys, it's a new month and that means that it's time for a new round of TBR Blackjack. In case you've never played Blackjack before, Blackjack is a card game in which you collect cards in order to get up to the number 21. Whoever gets closer to the number 21 ends up winning that round. You usually play against the dealer. Everyone starts off with 2 cards. If you want more cards, you can ask to hit, or you can ask to stay if you think that the next card that you are going to get might bring you over the number 21. Jacks, queens, and kings all count as the number 10. Ace counts as number 1 or 11. So if you get a queen and an ace, that could be either number 11 or that could be number 21. The goal each month is for me to win enough rounds to get 6 prompts. I could end up with more than 6 prompts. If I win a hand, I get to keep the cards that I used during that hand. And if I lose a hand, I have to pull from my new punishment jar. So I'm a little bit nervous today, especially since September means back to school, means I'm going back to work. I'm also taking some grad courses, and so I have reading to do for that. I have a bunch of ARCs that are due in September. September is gonna be a doozy. I'm also working on starting 2 book clubs, so what have I done to myself? Why am I torturing myself? We've already established at this point that I am a masochist. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, welcome to another game of Blackjack TBR game, and here we are this month playing with Reese's Pieces. Ooh, yes, getting ready for Halloween. Dealer, lay me out some cards. I'm going to bet 1 Reese's. Okay. Alright, so I've got a queen at under 300 pages and an 8 at nonfiction. Dealer has a queen with ARC, and I really need that card this month because I've got a lot of ARCs to read. But, oh, and we have a special guest. Excuse me, special dealer inspector. Excuse me, pit boss. Alright, so I've got an 18 here, and my pit boss is suggesting that I stay. So I think I'm gonna stay and not take any more cards, and hopefully the dealer doesn't have more than 18, otherwise I lose. Dealer has 16. 19. I lost. No. Pit boss, I thought you had my back. I lost on my first hand. How? How did this happen? Here it is. This is my jar of punishments. Now, some things in here were suggested by followers over on Twitter and Instagram, and some things I put in here as punishments for me. Now, they may not all seem like punishments, but if it's deviating off of the set TBR and list of ARCs and everything that has to get done this month, it's a punishment, because adding more to my list could push me into a reading slump. And that is the challenge, so. Oh, I'm scared. Okay. All right, guys. Wish me luck. I'm scared. Okay, I got one. So. Oh! Okay. Okay, I might be able to work with this. Finish a DNF'd book. Alright, So there's a couple books that I've DNF'd. I haven't DNF'd very many. Very few. I've probably only DNF'd like 4 or 5 books. So, if it's a DNF'd book, I don't need to start it over. I could just pick it up where I left off and continue, right? I think that counts. All right, I like this. I'm not looking forward to reading it, but it's doable and it won't stop me from everything else I have to get done. So, all right, punishment jar. I'm feeling that. All right, so last year I DNF'd Children of Blood and Bone. So, I'm going to attempt to finish that. I think I was about 300 pages in before I DNF'd it, and I want to say there's 500 and something, so it's like 200 and something left. However, I really did not like the writing of this book. Oh goodness, the characters were so frustrating. Oh, I have to suffer through it again. Okay, it's not the end of the world, Steph. We got this. We got this. This is Beerus, by the way. She causes the most trouble. But she's also the most fun. Okay, I am betting another Reese's. Okay, I've got a 6 at published between 2000 and 2010 and a 2 at contemporary. That means that I have an 8. I'm assuming that the dealer has 14. So, I'm going to hit ooh, and a 9 at hardcover. That makes it 17. I'm going to stay. Dealer has 14. Come on, dealer bust. Yes, 22. They bust finally. Woohoo! All right. So I've got these 3 cards right here. Thanks, Pit Boss, for the input. For the cards that we won, we have hardcover. So, we're going to go with 7 Days in the Art World. I got this a while ago on a book haul, and this is a story from a curator, I believe, and she is talking about her dealings with galleries and trying to break into the art scene, which is extremely cliquey and extremely close-knit and very difficult for emerging artists to get into. So, drama in the art world, especially in New York City, Miami, Art Basel, all that fun stuff. In case you don't know what Art Basel and Art Open and all those things are, they are these major conventions that happen every year, and it's usually only select artists that are invited, or you have to be represented by one of the top tier galleries. So if you are not being represented by a gallery, then you're not invited to participate in the shows. And as an emerging artist, or just as an artist without representation, which can be expensive, it's like, how do you get in? Falling apart, like my life. How do you get into the art world if you don't have those connections? So this is going to shed some light on that. Next, I have published 2000 to 2010. So this took a little digging because, as it turns out, of all the books that I'm required to read this month, whether it be ARCs or for school or for whatever, none of them were written 2000 to 2010. They were all after or before. So for this one, I'm going to allow myself a little bit of reprieve, and I am going to read the 14th Dalai Lama manga. So this is a biography manga about the Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama. And this sounds really cute. The drawing style is really adorable, and it's just talking about his life. It's short, it's sweet, and I think it will be a much needed light read in between all of the other intense reading that I'm doing this month. For the card, contemporary, I recently got from my library the audiobook for Just Mercy, and this is the story of a young man who is a lawyer, and it is taking place very recently. I believe in the last couple years that this was published, but he actually ends up representing inmates that are on death row, I believe. I'm really looking forward to this because it talks a lot about hard-hitting contemporary issues, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement. So, I'm reading this. It sounds super important. It's also been highly recommended by so many other booktubers. I was on hold for this for probably a good 4 months. So the moment it came through, I had to read it no matter whether it fit this TBR prompt or not. So luckily it works. Let's keep going. I've got to win something. Okay, a 10 with fantasy. And a 5 for set outside the US. Ooh, okay. It's at 15. I'm assuming the dealer has 21. I'm gonna go with him. 20, perfect. All right. See what the dealer has. Dealer has 5 or 15. Dealer has 17 or 7. Dealer has 17 and they lose. Woohoo! All right. Now I've got these cards. Thank you. Next, I have fantasy. So, for fantasy, this is perfect because I have a fantasy arc that I need to read in September. I've already announced that I am part of the Hear Our Voices book tour over on Twitter and YouTube. There is a link in the description for their book tours if you're interested in participating or want to learn about the books. But I am reading The Blaze Wrath Games by Amparo Ortiz. This is a dragon riding tournament. The main character is Puerto Rican, its Own Voices Puerto Rican. I am Puerto Rican, so I'm going to be doing an Own Voices review and fan art for this in October. So I need to read this very quickly and soon so that I can enjoy it and think about the awesome fan art that I'm going to make for it. For the card, manga or graphic novel, I'm going to be reading Tokyo Ghoul Re Volume 1. This is the second season to the Tokyo Ghoul manga, and if you watch the anime, this is the third season. Now, I did pick it up in August, but I didn't get very far. I probably only got a few pages in, so I'm going to just pick up the whole thing and read it in September. Now, I'm trying to hurry up and read this quickly because my first video to hit 1,000 views was my Tokyo Ghoul video explaining the differences between the anime and the manga, and I've gotten so many requests to come out with the second season for this, so my goal is to knock out the series as quick as possible to help clarify any questions that anybody has about the Tokyo Ghoul anime and the manga. Super cool in case you don't know. It's a horror manga, it's thriller, very gory, very fun. For the card, set outside of the United States. This is perfect because I have a buddy read coming up in the very beginning of September with Jessa from over at Gabbin' with Jessa, and we are reading The Secret Garden. This is a classic story. I believe it is also considered a YA. I believe it's a little bit magical. There's a garden and she's lonely and she just wants to make friends, and she lives in this big mansion with her uncle in England. So being that this has a setting outside of the US because it is in England, this fits perfectly for the prompt. And this is actually the Pantone Puffin edition, which is why it has this really nice pink color on it. I am looking to collect the Pantone editions for the classics. I've recently been reading more classics and really enjoying it. So aside from the punishment and the cards that I got from this month's TBR pile, I have a couple books that have to get read. One of them is Idle Hands by Cassandra Boone Walker, and I got this as an ARC. So I'm just gonna read you guys the synopsis for this off of Goodreads because I keep forgetting what the synopsis is about, and I keep surprising myself every time I read the synopsis of how good this sounds and why I haven't read it sooner, even though I've had the arc since July. So, it says, after making the courageous decision to leave her abusive husband, Purdy and her 3 young children start over and finally find the safety and love they deserve. But years later, when tragedy strikes, Purdy is left wondering if the choice she made to leave has led them to this moment. If she were given the opportunity to take it all back and stay, would she? In a frantic bid to protect her family, Purdy makes a deal to do just that. But in a world where the devil pulls the strings, can Purdy really change the past? Brimming with enlightened observation and brilliant voice, Idle Hands is a haunting examination of grief, resilience, and what we give to spend another moment with the ones we love. Why have I not picked this up yet? What is wrong with me? It's getting read in September. Also, getting read in the first week of September, along with some other arcs, is Monster by Duncan Swan. I was sent this by the author himself in exchange for an honest review, and there is a Goodreads group in which we are reading this. I'm reading this with a couple other YouTubers. We are all starting this September 1st. This is going to be one of the first things that I read this month, and I'm really excited about that because I could use some horror right now. No, in case you don't know what this is about, it's got the Mist vibes. There's a cloud. There might be monsters in the cloud. We're running away from the cloud. We're running for survival. It sounds great, and it's got black sprayed edges. That's all I need. Also, if I can finish this vlog, I've been working on a vlog, I wanna say, since June. I suck at vlogging, guys. I'm sorry. I really, really do. I forget to update, and then when I do think of something like, oh, this is something that would be important to say for this vlog. Guess who looks like a thumb? Guess who looks crusty? And guess what time it is? It's probably some ridiculous time where if I start vlogging, I'm going to wake up everyone in the house. So, the last book for this vlog is Red Dragon. This is the first book in the Hannibal Lecter series. If you want to know why I'm reading this, stay tuned for that vlog, because if it doesn't come out in September, it's coming out in October, it's coming out soon. I'm done with this vlog. Next, for my grad course. So I am taking a couple of grad courses for educators. Luckily, I have some amazing friends who helped me find out that there are free grad courses for educators. It's only a few classes and it wouldn't count towards a master's in the degree that I'm going for because I'm an artist, so I would like to go for an MFA. However, this program is specifically for teaching Holocaust and genocide humanitarian studies for educators to incorporate in their classroom in different subjects. So I would really love to be able to incorporate more humanitarian work into my art projects that I do with my students. The book that is required for this class is called Why? Explaining the Holocaust, and I guess this would be a contemporary because it's analyzing different themes of what is happening as the last few survivors of the Holocaust pass away, what are misconceptions about the Holocaust as time goes on and the history is passed down through generations. So this sounds really interesting. It's something that I might have picked up on my own, maybe eventually if I'd heard of it outside of a requirement for this course, but I have to read that for the class. So that's also definitely getting read in September. I feel like if you have a Goodreads challenge, you should be able to incorporate textbooks and required reading material into your Goodreads challenge. Like it's legit reading, right? So that has to count for something. Please do. I will. Another required reading for this college course is Essentials of Holocaust Education. So again, fundamentals and issues and approaches in teaching the Holocaust. I'm counting this also. Another arc that I got off NetGalley is called Botanical Art Techniques, and this is a kind of how-to book on for painters to be able to paint botanical illustrations, and I do a lot of botanical illustrations myself, so I'll just like flash some images of my paintings up here. So I'm hoping that when I saw this arc that it was going to help me become a better artist. So maybe I'll do some sort of drawing review on that. I don't know, but this is a very niche kind of book, and I'm okay with that. This is something that I have personal growth goals for. Also from my library, I've been on hold for quite a few months for I Am Malala, the story of Malala Yousafzai, and I got a notice from Libby that it should be available sometime this week. So I cannot put this loan off anymore. I've already put it off enough. It has to get read. Whew. So here is the physical TBR of books that I'm reading in September. Okay, let's count. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 physical books. Then plus the ARCs and audiobooks that I got as well. So
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13. These 7 plus the 13. Oh, these 7 plus the ARCs and audiobooks that I got off hold and off NetGalley all have to get read in September. How is this going to happen? I don't know, because I've been averaging about 10 books a month. Some of those have been graphic novels. And the last 2 months I read My Little Pony. What is happening to me? I hope you enjoyed watching this TBR game because, it's stressing me out. But I love a challenge, so it's not a bad thing. I'm struggling to hold these books. They refuse to stay up. Okay, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and I'll see you next time. Bye!